Hello everyone. Today, in this video, our team represent about oil spill at sea, where it discuss about issues and challenges to reduce the environmental footprint of maritime transport operation on marine environment and fauna for the subject policy and marine management. I, ELSHERE ANAK ELVIS Blue, and my team members, SAIFUN bin Ahmad SHAHIMI, Muhammad RAHIMAN bin ZULL, HAWARIS bin Muhammad TELIDI, NAJIHA bin Muhammad JEBRI, and SHAFEIQAH bin Ahmad SHAFEII will be the presenter for this video. For the first part, I will be the first presenter by talking about the introduction, project framework, and background. Thank you. I will explain about introduction to oil spill at sea. Generally, oil spill at sea is a serious environmental disaster. The oil spill from ship can enter the water as a result of unintentional spills and leaks. Oil spill on water have a tremendous influence on a sea creature and human. The outcomes can be devastating. Oil spill have impact not just on the ocean space surrounding them, but also on the shorelines, upper water, and seabed, wetlands, and corals. Oil spill can cause mortality by interfering with eating, breathing, and movement activities of marine life at the seashore as well as ocean fauna. For that purpose, our team choosing oil spill at sea for our topic, where we intend to investigate the link between oil spill at sea and reduce the environmental footprint of maritime transport operation or maritime environment and fauna.
I'm SYAFUN and I will continue to present about research objective. The first research objective is to identify the problem and challenge that the maritime environment face. Second is to identify the issue, effects, and impact of maritime transport environment on the marine environment fauna. And third is to investigate the best solution that the government or other parties can implement it to address this issue to reducing the environmental footprints. Let's continue about research problem. This research problem is to identify the problem that challenge facing the marine environment development basic profile the current and future pollution risk. This means the government went much further the Arctic Water Pollution Act, which established the resolution to prevent pollution in 100-mile zone in the Arctic. The international regime to control pollution, but says must take action until the regime exists. The is considering a proposal for United Nations Convention on International Seabed Area proposed in 1997. The type of oil spill is important as a different type behave differently in the environment. In animal, fish, shellfish, and coral may not be exposed immediately, but they are come into contact with the oil if it's mixture with the water column. Even when the latter effects are observed, oil can make fish unsafe for human consumptions. Next is the government parties can investigate to address the issue, reducing the environmental footprint. In the study has provided some general review. The factor that affects pollution, the company provide service in the industrial area, that the best solution the government can take. That's all.
The next part is background of study. For thousands of years, humans have utilized petroleum as medicinal and military weaponry, where the uses of this substance did not really increase until the Industrial Revolution took place, when oil became important as a substitute for wood, coal, animal power, and other energy resources. Liquid petroleum has certain major benefits over other energy sources, At the time, it has been condensed and can be readily transported between places. As a result, there was an increase in oil pollution where the oil leaks has resulted in flooded coastline, poisoned fisheries, death and damages animals, and lost revenue from the tourism activities. Maritime transportation also poses a significant risk to the environment and sea life. Marine pollution is caused by large accident or progressively greasy discharge from ships. Maritime transportation promotes worldwide trades with approximately 10 billion tons of container, solids, and liquid bulk commodities being shipped around the world every year. Every day, maritime transportation transport billions of dollars in product, accounting for more than 90% of the worldwide trade. Marine pollution is caused by large accident or progressively decreased sea discharge from ships, which pose a severe threat to the marine ecology. Not only that, maritime transportation continues to have negative effect on the maritime environment. The International Maritime Organization, or IMO, has become more concerned about the massive amounts of oil transported by tankers at sea. This is due to the Torrey Canyon disaster on 1967, where spilled about 120,000 tons of crude oil and killed over 25,000 seabird and other maritime and other marine species. The IMO is responsible for global shipping safety and security, but it also acknowledged that marine transportation and port operation have unexpected environmental consequences.
Assalamualaikum. My name is AMEERA and I'm going to present about the issue of marine pollution in section of result and discussion. So marine pollution is a serious issue and it comes in numerous forms. We never knew that our daily or individual activity can lead to marine pollution. There are few issues that can lead to marine pollution, such as toxic chemical in water, oil spill, sewages, household cleaners such as dishwasher or soap that we pour down in the sink, and also chemical within air that occur due to industrial waste that has been released through a factory funnel. The waste will dissolve into the sea and can pollute our ocean significantly. So there are two major issues in marine pollution, which is toxic chemical in water and oil spill. As I said before, toxic chemical in water can happen when the chemical has been released through air and it will dissolve in ocean. The use of household cleaner can also be one of the factor. For oil spill, it is an issue that frequently faced in marine pollution. Accidental oil spill will demolish marine life and can lead to death of thousands marine creatures. It is one of the major poison that contaminate seawater, which does not clean up so effectively. The recent case of oil spill are in Port Dickson. On 12 October 2020, multiple reports of the oil spill were filed at Port Dickson Beach. This case has been investigated under Section 27 of the Environment Quality Act 1974 that carries a maximum fine of 500,000 or maximum 5-year jail term or both. This has been stated by Datuk Seri Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man, Minister of Water and Environment. The oil spill is 2 kilometer long near Pantai Cermin Port Dickson and Tanjung Tuai, Melaka. To clean up and dispose of the oil, the Port Dickson District Beach Cleaning Action Committee and the Alor Gajah District Disaster Management Committee were formed. They have been received assistance by Environment Department of both states, the Malaysia Marine Department, Malaysia Maritime Agency, Malaysia Civil Defence Force, Fishery Department, Forestry Department, Malaysia Security Council and the police of both district, and also from land officers in Port Dickson and Alor Gajah. The method that used are absorbent boom and absorbent pad. As absorbent boom are using material that can absorb and trap oil. It is used to clean up bare area. For absorbent pad, it is used at water area to absorb large amount of oil and leaving only a thin coating of oil. Next, I'm going to present about strength and weakness in SWOT analysis. For strength, the first one is competence. Officers in Malaysia Marine Department are well versed and educated in their respective disciplines. Officers from Malaysia Marine Department are experienced in dealing with oil spill, such as the one in Port Dickson. This is because the length of service and exposure to such cases have an impact. The next one is responsible. In conducting investigation into the oil leak cases in Port Dickson, the Malaysia Marine Department has been highly responsible in terms of timeline and key performance indicator. In terms of job description and performance, the officer involved have a good comprehension of the work. For weakness, we have identified that there is lack of surveillance system. Lack of surveillance system can cause many issues that can happen, such as smuggling activity and also intrusion. In this oil spill case, the incident can be prevented from happen, or maybe can prevent the oil from spread far by if early action have been taken. If there is surveillance system, they will notice about this incident and able to act immediately, and also the culprit can get caught. So that's all for me. We are going to proceed our presentation with next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NAJIHA. I will continue the outcome of SWOT analysis, which is opportunity. First is increasing community awareness. The Marine Department can use incident in Port Dickson as an opportunity to increase community awareness about the harmful of the oil spill to marine ecosystem, and also to the community. Next is growing consciousness through non-government organization, NGO. So the Marine Department can collaborate with the other NGO like Environmental Protection Society Malaysia, Sabah Wetland Conservation Society, and also Socio-Economic and Environmental Research Institute. So all of these NGO, they try to educate community about the environmental law and policy, also about the impact of environmental disruption to our generation and also for the future generation. So next we move to trade. The first one is negative public perception. It happens because of the community is concerned about the oil spill will affect their source of income. So next is the use of new technology in maritime industry. We know that the use of AI in maritime industry is increasing, so it will be challenging to Marine Department to adapt the use of AI in among their workers. Next, I will briefly mention about the impact of marine pollution, which is the oil spill at Port Dickson. First is depletion of oxygen. Second is higher acidity in seawater. Third is the damaging of bird feeder. Fourth, blocking out the sunlight. Fifth, acute impact, and the last one is chronic impact. So I think that's all for me. I will like the next presenter to continue our presentation. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AMAL HAWARIS. I will continue the presentation. I will present about possible solution and recommendation. As we know, the movement of resulting oil slick must be monitored or even forecast in order to decide if a region will be affected or better yet to avoid contamination in some vital region entirely. So to make an accurate prediction, first we need to understand how oil slick operate, or at the very last what the chances are of finding oil slick in certain location. It can increase the number of variables in analysis of the scenario, make it more difficult to make accurate prediction. So these following actions should be taken to control and prevent marine pollution. First, the location, form and magnitude of the oil slick must first be determined. Such as satellite photos are the most exact way to obtain the information. This is the most popular method for automatically recognizing this slick is to employ SAR imagery. Satellite photograph reveal location where there appear to be no wave, yet where oil slick are present. It can identify the slick and distinguish them from the coastal area or even the island in the photograph. It is feasible to discriminate between typical sea fluctuation and slick using SAR imagery. Next is physical barrier, were primarily utilized to limit and restrict the spread of the oil leak and oil slick. But the physical and chemical feather of the oil did not change. As an example, boom was a common piece of equipment used to contain an oil spill or slick. The effective operation of boom on the other hand was greatly influenced by the feature of current, wind direction, velocity and wave height, as well as the boom design. Oil spill and slick could be recovered using skimmer or other approaches based on creating a barrier for oil transport. They were employed to prevent oil from floating vertically, with 60% of the furnace boom generally submerged in the water. Next is handled throughout the explosion and productive life cycle, and is accomplished by sound design, building and operating standard, facility integrity, high level of environmental awareness and employee training. Such as special steps are made during the original design phase to mitigate various leak scenarios and environmental risk. For example, oil pumps are designed to avoid leak and are fit with fail-safe shutdown system that prevent spill of a leak. Thus, occur pumps are examined on the regular basis to ensure that the seal do not leak. Next is the use of process to control oil spills. The sack houses cylinder oil sorbing form of polymer made by an extrusion process and had the axial hole. The design is primarily intended to prevent the oil lockout effect. It enables the inner portion of the tubular structure to come into contact with oil, which considerably increase the contact area between the sorbent and the oil layer. The use of vacuum extreme transfer and conveyance system for collection the oil saturated sack was also proposed. Next is oil spill dispersions. Oil spill dispersion are chemical formulation that primarily consists of a mixture of surfactants dissolved in solvents to aid in the dispersion of oil into water. Oil spill dispersion, especially for offshore application, are an effective and feasible first-line response option during big oil leak disaster. Surface active agents are used in this formulation to reduce the interfacial tension between oil and water. The water-seek hydrophilic head group and the oil-seeking oleophilic tail group make up surfactants. They are able to stabilize oil droplets as a result of this. And also a water soluble and exists to each surfactants molecule. When the molecule come into contact with an oil slick on water, they diffuse through the oil and position themselves at the water-oil interface beneath the slick. Oil droplets with linked dispersant molecules break away from the slick as the water moves owing to wave action or is stirred by a boat wake. The surrounding water-soluble end of the surfactants reject them, preventing them from recoalescing. This solution was used by the Department of Environment Malaysia to control the oil pollution caused by the oil spill.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad RAHIMAN bin ZULL. My number mention is S5827. Good evening to you all and our fellow friend and also our lecturer Dr. Izzat. Okay, today I am presenter for my group, part of the presenter. That my part is about recommendation, so I will explain it a little bit. Okay, what we can learn from this? From this study, in oil spill prevention and response, it could be beneficial in providing a discernment on the process in controlling and preventing of the oil spill, provide a positive impact to port management. She honor and coastal style by listing the emphasizing of the oil spill control practice, which could use in preventing the oil spill and minimize the complication by examining the effectiveness of the practice. Okay. Also, this study focused on the oil spill preparedness and response at the oil terminal and serve the research objective in explaining the contingency plan of preparedness and response at the terminal and to analyze the response activities toward the oil spill according to required standard operation procedure SOP. As you know, from this picture you can see that is one of the oil spill response tactic. What will happen and what we will do. There is a part of it that you can learn, and maybe you can search more about it to know more about it in internet. Okay, then I go to my next slide. Okay, then about the effectiveness and effective marine airspace combat operation realize upon the prompt reaction from the time oil slick in distinguish. Accident event that involve the oil spill will be catastrophic towards the environment depending on how bad the spill provided. The other factors that can affect oil control prevention operation, causing the oil spill even further. The fundamental of the oil spill preparedness and response is looking at the oil spill response itself and found that oil spill response require a valuable reconciliation of the physical and substance properties transport and weathering of spill oil, choice of clean up strategies, arranging a seaside security operation, climate and ocean condition, and booking of the clean up office. Advancement of ideal planning strategies for the oil spill response operation is vital with a specific end goal to adjust the aggregate cost of responsiveness. This is how effectiveness that is preparedness for prevention the oil spill from happen. So from the picture you have see there is what happened on the first picture that oil spill happened. There is how on how the recovery task force using by airplane to clean or take action on cleans the ocean from become more worse. So also you can see from the picture of this that we shows that how ocean is become a vital things that will make it worse more because of our current development of humanizations of technology and our economic globalization. Because of this, ocean become more not stable and more looking so sadly. So maybe I don't have so much time to explain more. Maybe some other time. I will go to the next slide that will I will show you the crude oil spilling into the ocean with a video that I will provide it maybe in the last of my explanation and presentation. So what can you learn that many effects contribute from the oil spill as the spill occur at the point of production and during delivering goods to a destination via sea transport. Petroleum hydrocarbons such as crude oil released by unintentional into marine areas should lead to marine pollutions, especially affect the marine life, human economic resource of country, and as a major most feared by the community and now as a detrimental effect on the economy, especially to fishermen, farm, health, and intermediate environment, and it's posing a serious threat to economic activities like temporarily shutting down navigation route and driving over towers. More serious cause of marine pollution, bring huge economic loss to the society, influence the marine ecological environment, and lead to damage in the ecological balance. That's what will happen if we don't prepare very effectively and not take action on this and become more logically to save our oceans from the oil spill and other things that make our ocean become worse. So this marine pollution, we have to overcome it with preparedness and response of what we will do later if that happen unconsciously. So that's all for my presentations and about my explanations. Okay, I not forgot to tell you some of the to show you the crude oil spilling into ocean. So let's take a look. So this is a video that I want to share with you guys, and I will share the Isian. Hopefully you enjoy it for my last presentation. Thank you. Let's take a look.
In 1993, the tanker Brer was stuck fast at Garth's Ness in the Shetland Islands. Its cargo of Norwegian crude oil was spilling into the ocean. The Brer had lost power because of fuel contamination and had drifted for hours in heavy weather. At this stage, the ship was still in one piece, and the leaking of 85,000 tonnes of crude was relatively minor. Plans were being made to pump as much of the oil out of the tanks as possible in an attempt to minimise environmental damage.
As you can see,
Though
the
weather conditions
will
continued to
cause
deteriorate,
environmental damage
aircraft from the Marine
and
Pollution
pollution
Control
to our
Unit began
ocean.
spraying
Yeah,
dispersant
it's
to
very
break up the
become a
growing oil slick.
sensible things, and you have to take
To
action
effectively deliver the
more and
dispersant,
more
the planes had to
to
fly
avoid
at very
this.
low altitudes, a requirement that was becoming very dangerous as the wind speeds increased. Because of the drilling platforms in the North Sea, the area was well prepared to deal with large-scale contamination. But the severe weather soon grounded the aircraft and prevented the deployment of inflatable barriers to contain the spill. Continued pounding from larger and larger waves had broken the Brare's back, and there was now no hope of restricting the oil spill. The region is known for its salmon farming and commercial shellfish harvesting. Fishermen feared their industry would be wiped out. The only mitigating factors were the light nature of the Norwegian oil and the heavy storm activity that was dispersing the slick. The wind and currents carried most of the contamination to the north and west, but the storm that had broken the ship's back had also dispersed the oil, diminishing a possibly catastrophic outcome.
That's all for the video.
In conclusion, the main obstacle to oil spill treatment and restoration is the Port of Dickson, which required many parties to clean up, including the Malaysian Department of the Navy, which, like Port Dickson, has experience. The ministry can use the oil leak as an opportunity to raise awareness of the dangerous consequence for marine ecosystem. Without awareness, there are no resources for future generations. Marine pollution can lead to hypoxia or a lack of oxygen in the ocean. The oil spill cover the feather of the seabird and remove the natural oil that the bird used to keep the feather. Waterproof chemicals such as petroleum, which contain toxic substance, exceeded our ocean. These include the enforcement of marine pollution law on ships in Port Dickson. Various agencies responsible for enforcing the law of the sea, the limit ability of the agency to carry out the duties, and the challenge they face in the collecting contaminate samples from the sea and arrest of ships suspected of violating the law. Such as the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency (MMEA) should be the primary maritime law enforcement agency as provided to avoid duplication and ensure efficiency. The MMEA competent authorities should focus on policy issue and maritime enforcement submit enforcement to MMEA, except in specific areas such as port and inland waters. Matter only on land, and the Department of the Navy will be responsible for marine policy such as shipping, safety, and the protection of the marine environment. A new approaches to crude oil profiling based on the Tokyo Memorandum of Understanding on port state control could be explored to address ship requirement difficulties. The protocol requires the collaboration of volunteers from the particular country to create a database of ship litter on registered ships. The process may be slow at first, but once the system is placed, it will be beneficial, moderate, and effective in combating marine pollution from ships in the Port Dickson. I think that's all for me. Thank you.